If you're looking for the latest info on Vermintide 2, then you've come to the right place. We're going to be compressing the developer stream down into a short video today, alongside some gameplay footage to get you guys up to speed with what's going on. Now let me say there is some exciting stuff, but I'm not going to talk about it for too long. Let's get started with the video and see what we've got cooking inside this game. So the first thing you'll notice when we load up is we do have the same 5 characters. We've got Marcus here on the left, and he's got a passive and an active ability. And for each class we now have 3 subclasses, and each of those have their own active passive abilities, as well as skill trees, as well as new weapons. So you'll notice Carillion here is now a shade, or she can be a shade as one of her 3 options, and you can go invisible and go into stealth when your enemies, or rather when your allies are all dying, and troll them, because, well, that's why you'd want to go invisible, right? So as well as this, we also have the dwarf being able to be a slayer, a ironbreaker, and a ranger. And I don't know all of the others, but it's safe to say each one's going to have their own playstyle, which is a really good start for this game. The character customization straight off the bat is looking pretty goddamn huge. Now moving into this, we've moved out of Uberschtrike. Now this game is a direct continuation from the previous, so we're just moving on with the same characters. However, we're now heading into Helmgart, and we're actually going to be fighting against Chaos as well as Skaven now. Now the Chaos are going to be of a Nurgle orientation, although we haven't actually been given any Nurgle units to look at. We do have some Chaos to eyeball, but I'm not going to say anything about those until they've appeared on screen, because I don't want to ruin anything. And just to give a little bit of understanding as to what we know thus far, is that the Skaven and Chaos aren't fighting each other, as they have formed a dark pact. Now we haven't been given any info on how or why or what's going on. That's going to all be sort of story related and such, but it's something quite interesting to see, and I don't think it's going to be a case of the Skaven and Chaos making some form of alliance together. It's going to be probably a case of the Skaven following the Chaos around, saying, "Oh, you're a big man, maybe I can squash things with you." Now here we go with the first Chaos Marauders. What we've been told about the Chaos Warrior faction is they're going to include a lot more heavily armoured, hard-hitting units. Then the combat's going to be a little bit different to the Skaven, where you can pull out your axe and you can punch them and sort of bosh them about a little bit. Chaos aren't really going to behave that way. They're going to be a lot more stubborn, a lot more meaty, and we're going to see a couple of those units coming up in just a moment. So straight away I have to say the character changes here sound like there's going to be a lot more group versatility. There's going to be a little bit of perhaps planning and synergy involved. You've got the Ironbreaker ability, which involves taunting everyone around you and making yourself invulnerable for a short period of time. So straight away there's going to be some role-based combat, I think, which is really nice to see. And of course we've got 2 fat-looking Chaos Warriors here, looking pretty goddamn meaty. And in terms of the miniatures, the models, I think they've done a great job here. They did good in the last game. The Skaven all looked nice. But in this game, I have to say, thus far, I've been nothing but impressed by the combat, the sounds, having to not actually pay money for blood. Hashtag Total War. What are they thinking? The blood in this, the gore, all looks beautiful. Really like the look of it. And I don't know if there was any concern of people having microtransactions in this game, but the staff have already said that that's not going to be the case at all. That being said, there is going to be some more DLC to the first game before this comes out, and there will be some relevancy of this. We don't know what it is, but it may be worth picking up if you're interested. And the game is actually on sale now with a 10% discount, taking it down to something like 27 bucks. Pretty good value, I think. And in terms of value, let's talk about something which I think they've put into this game, which is a game changer. It is pretty exciting, and that is mod support. They are going to have mod support for this game, and Steam Workshop, stuff like that, is an incredibly valuable asset to games that want to have long-term sort of survivability. Now, it can be hindering in terms of getting people to play together, because if you've all got different mods it can make it a little bit tough, but mods are amazing. Especially the Warhammer community are great with mods, and these guys have recognised that. They've said, look, the community is really on the ball in terms of content, so they're just going to hand the reins over to them. Now, of course they're still going to be making stuff for this. Now, there hasn't been any mention as to other Chaos factions, other enemies that might be added, but what we do know is that when the game launches, it's going to have at least more than double the amount of enemies that the first game had. So of course they've added Chaos on top of Skaven, but Skaven are also getting additional units. We're going to see one right at the end of this, and I'll give you a little clue. It's a bit like a rat ogre, covered in metal with some warp fire throwers. If you know the name, put it down in the comments below just to, you know, show off your lore knowledge. I'm not actually a Skaven player, but I do love them. So, let's crack on, continue looking at the footage, see what we've got here. Usual sort of standard of good quality maps. I mean, it reminds me of sort of a Mordheim game. It's beautiful. I have to say the settings look fantastic. Everything from the fire effects to the animations. It's all looking pretty crisp already in terms of a game. So I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed thus far. And in terms of quantity of enemies as well, they have said that they're going to be throwing a lot at you. It's still going to have that sort of that horde-ish feel to it, although the Chaos Warriors are going to be coming with some more chunky units and some more armoured stuff that you're going to have to rely on power attacks, etc., and charged attacks to be able to sort of penetrate through. But either way, all of this looks pretty exciting to see. And in particular, I think the skill system is a really, really good move for them, because they've taken the 5 characters that we've used for quite a while now. Has it been a couple of years? And they've basically said, here's a lot more of them. So you can take that character that you like, and now you have 3 more choices with that character in terms of expanding your playstyle, changing it slightly. And as well as this, there's going to be new weapons and such. Of course, we don't know what they are at the moment. We obviously have a spear on the screen at the moment, but we don't have much other information. However, there is a bit of a change to the loot system as well. The loot system's going to be seeing a little bit of a modification in that high quality and low quality weapons aren't going to have the same damage discrepancy, so you're not going to have a crappy white item doing, I don't know, 5 damage and a really, really powerful weapon doing 50. They're both going to do the same damage, however, the more powerful item will come with more bonuses, so it's going to make the difficulty a little bit less gear dependent, which is nice. It's going to be perhaps a little bit, and I'm emphasising a little bit, more skill orientated. However, the better the weapons you get, the more stuff that comes on the weapon, so the more versatile your build can be, the more wacky you can play, and the more quirky the things you can do. That is what I like from a game. Something that doesn't necessarily say to you from the off, oh, you're too bad with this bad item to do any of this content. You can have a crack at it, you might really struggle, and as your items get better, the game will get slightly more comfortable until you decide to progress the difficulty again, and you get smacked up. So let's check out here, we're in a wide open area. I wonder what could be lurking in the background. Let's have a little look. Nice. So here we have a Chaos spawn. Obviously it's the Chaos equivalent of a Rat Ogre of sorts, and it looks fantastic. I love the animations of being thrown around, being belched on, having your head chomped. I mean, one would assume that would be fatal, but you know, we are a hero of sorts. This is Warhammer Fantasy. The actual unit, the animations and such, the way it's crawling around and sort of flopping, I think is the only way to describe it. It just looks great. I'm really impressed with all of the graphics thus far, the models, the animations. I think it all looks good. Really looking forward to getting stuck into this. And there's one more surprise yet to come before we say goodbye. We're going to wait for them to kill this. God damn, it looks awesome. I love the tiny little chicken leg as well. It's got a really fat elephant leg and a tiny little chicken leg. What? Why? Because chaos, that's why. And here we go with one last exciting thing before we say goodbye. Guys and girls, you're listening to Hydra. Remember to subscribe and like the video, and I'll see you next time.